Introducing PetVivo Holdings, the biomedical device company focused on the manufacturing, commercialization, and licensing of innovative medical devices and therapeutics for companion animals. Hey guys, and welcome to one more episode of Builder Nation. For today's agenda, we have John Lai, President and CEO at the company, advancing animal health through innovation. So welcome, John. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. My name's John Lai. I'm the CEO of PetVivo Holdings. I've been their CEO since 2014. The company was initially founded in 1998 through grants from NIH and DoD, and the science was developed at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. I've been involved in many early stage companies that have a unique niche in the marketplace where somebody with more money can't overrun us. And I definitely saw PetVivo as an opportunity to bring a disruptive and innovative product to market where somebody with more money just can't outsell us, outproduce us, and so on. There's a lot of proprietary technology and a lot of patents around the product.
Wow, thank you for that background. Definitely interesting. So you've been around for a couple of years in the industry. What got you initially into it?
So the law firm and their patent counsel contacted me and said, the company has a tremendous pipeline of human products in the marketplace. We're ready to launch commercially. We had a very good FDA trial. We created these protein particle matrix that mimics cartilage and tissue. And in essence, it's an extracellular matrix. So whatever cartilage or tissue you're missing, we inject these particles, it forms a scaffolding, and it fills in where cartilage used to be and functions just like cartilage. But the good thing about it is it's naturally derived, and we were able to show the FDA that there was no side effects, no change in the human chemistry. So they allow us to declare these particles as a human medical device, which is a major advantage to us because we don't have to do phase 3 of the human trials to go to commercialization. You just have to do what is a 510K or a PMA process. With that designation, I can go right into the animal side, the companion animal side, the FDA, and just start marketing and selling. So that's what created a big interest for me. And I also saw how effective and life-changing this product can be for the animals as well as the pet owners. I'll give you an example. We're really expanding the total addressable market because like a lab or a German Shepherd that's 12 years old, 11 years old, very bad case of osteoarthritis. They go to see the veterinary doctor. The doctor really only has two choices. He'll say, we can put the dog down because it's suffering so much with osteoarthritis, or spend $7,000, $8,000 on a surgery. And the dog has to go through rehab, and we don't really know it's going to be highly successful or not. Our process, it's that intra-articular injection into the joint where it fills in and forms the scaffold, is between $6,000 and $1,000, depending where you are at in the United States when you're getting the injection. And it's also covered under pet insurance. But with that, I truly believe we're extending the life of the joint. There's nothing else out there that will do that, but also improve the quality of life of the animal, as well as the quality of life of the owner able to play with the animal. So we're hopefully reducing a lot of expense that's involved with pet care because we don't have to take that severe step of invasiveness of the surgery. And also with the use of our product, we have found there's been a great reduction in the need of pharmaceuticals and biologics, or even bringing it down to zero, which is one of the goals of the veterinary doctor, to use less of pharmaceuticals.
Now that you talk about the main product, I would like to ask you about the technology, because I know that you guys use a specific kind of technology, right?
Sure. The technology was developed at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, and we were funded by NIH, National Institute of Health. And that's a peer review process. They don't give you $8 million up front. You kind of go through the various steps. So the base proteins are collagen and elastin. So they're basic building blocks of human tissue. The carbohydrate, we use heparin, So the carbohydrate basically acts as a binding agent to create this matrix. So when we compress these particles, it stays wet and lubricious. Now, once it's injected into the joint, because we sell the product to the veterinary doctors, they do what is called an intra-articular injection into the joint. It starts to form a scaffolding. So unlike other products, which is very short-term and it's masking the symptoms, we're addressing the root problem of osteoarthritis, lameness, and so on, where this product will start forming a scaffolding. That scaffolding actually improves probably over the next 90 days, so you even get better improvement. And we say the product lasts at least a year because our human studies track the humans for a year and the particles are still there. But in the real world application, we've seen it last well beyond a year. And it doesn't hurt the animal whatsoever to do a second injection. And the good thing about this product is you can inject multiple joints at once.
Is there a specific reason why you guys are focused on dogs and horses?
Yeah, because they're the largest segment of companion animals, and we got the cat product coming no later than October this year. So there's about 11 million horses in the United States, about 83 million dogs, and about 16 million cats. So the easy progression, what we call the low-hanging fruit when you launch the product initially, was in the equine space, the horses, because the horse vets, when they do the injection, they actually see the horses pretty much right away, especially in the performance side, hunter jumpers, race horses. They see the improvement and they see the economics because you do the injection. You don't have to drain, generally, you don't have to drain the joints of fluids after a horse race or using a racehorse. You don't have to inject the hyaluronic acid to go with it. So it's a bigger cost savings on an annual basis, but it's also better for the animal. The recovery time is much quicker. And since it's naturally derived, we don't have the side effects. So horses are a much easier sell and repeat orders. Now, the small animals is much tougher because when a vet does the injection, they may not see the dog for 6 months to a year. So they don't know that it's improved a lot until they see the dog again. So the adoption time or selling cycle is much longer. But now that we got all these studies coming up, we got 6 more studies that will get announced in the small animal space here in the next 9 months. It's easier for our sales reps to go out and inform and educate the doctors, because it is an education process when you have something this disruptive and innovative. Because when you learn in vet school, they tell you if you diagnose osteoarthritis or joint issue, it's what we call a multimodal lifetime approach to treating the animal. So you got to be very aggressive in terms of modulating the type of tools you're using. We're telling the vet, just do the single injection, forget about it for a year until you see the dog again. Or in the case of horses, you see them much quicker, but you really don't have to do anything. That's a total mindset change. So that's where our studies will help bridge that gap in education. And then also us going to the major trade shows for the horses, dogs, and cats, and so on. The speakers will be talking about our product because we're getting pretty good adoption and they naturally talk about it anyways, or we sponsor a key speaker in osteoarthritis so people see the spring name and ask questions. So we're excited about that. If you look at our sales team, really top notch. They're one of the best because we keep pulling in people from Merck Animal Health at 20-some years. Paula came from Zoetis, 20-some years. So these are veteran regional salespeople that have managed hundreds of people and has done very good volumes in terms of dollars with these major companies.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. I'm excited about those next steps. I saw the video on the website and I can tell you it was impressive. The difference before and after, I think it's amazing. John, I wanted to ask you how hard it was at the beginning to find the product market fit.
We really took our time to put the pieces in the right place before we launched the product, because the good and the bad is, one, we have very low regulatory risk from the FDA because we didn't have to do any studies because of the human studies. But the bad is I have no evidence to support the claims to the dog doctors and the equine. So we had to pay for a lot of studies that is coming out. And then COVID slowed down one of our major studies because It was at Colorado State with Dr. Felix Dewar. He's one of the top experts on small animal pain management. Their campus was shut down for 9 months. So that means you really can't use the data. So that study will be done at the end of this year on a double-blind elbow study, but we got hip study, shoulder studies. We present the data at these major conferences that are relevant to the study. It's not automatic. You got to present your data. And it's not the company, it's an independent research group like Ethos or Colorado State. They present it. And then the board that's representing the organization will pick companies to allow to present because they want to present relevant data. So it was good that we got to present at the Veterinary Orthopedic Societies because that's one of the top organizations for vet surgeons. So that was really good that it got presented there, but we got other ones following. And when you combine all of them, it builds a really good case that it's hard for a vet to say, how do I know this works? Because you got multiple studies. And that's what sells, the education, the studies, and then having the major trade shows where veterinary doctors are constantly talking about the product.
Thank you so much for sharing, John. Now that you mentioned the pandemic, I wanted to ask you, normally we tend to speak with different CEOs in the industry, and most of them are really involved in the procurement process. How is that like for you?
So the good thing is our supply chain is all US based. So there's nothing that's outside of the US. And in fact, the collagen is in Iowa or in Minnesota. So I could even drive down there. The whole key is in the process of how we manufacture. That's the trade secret that we protect very carefully. And then the patents help us protect it. And also my chief operating officer has a lot of experience in human medical device manufacturing. He was CEO of Taxo Medical. That went to $2 billion market cap. My CFO came from Taxo. My production head came from Medtronic, did a lot large scale production of biomaterials. That's what this is. So we have a proven track record of people that have done this before and done it at a very high level and high scale. So I'm very proud of the team we put together, and it's a commitment because the product is that much better, but also we share the commonality of helping animals and people to improve their qualities of life. So that's what really makes us tick. We're doing something that's really good, and you're seeing the results. Like you talked about the videos, we get a lot more videos from people. I had a horse that they were ready to basically put down. They couldn't get up. It was on the ground for 7 straight days. They did the injection, and 5 days later, it got up on its own. And then a month later, it gained 280 pounds because it could move and eat. And they put it to the Elton John song, Still Standing. It was such a cool video. I just loved it. And we're seeing that constantly.
Wow. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, everything is good. And we have a nonprofit division. Actually, it's a totally separate company called PetVivoCares.org. And that organization is set up to donate syringes to help rescue animals and so on. So we'll do military dogs, military horse, and then people that are really poor and have a really good case, we'll donate the syringes. We had one out in Anaheim Hills. The veterinary doctor there said, it's an elderly lady, 82 years old, no family left. It's only her little dog. And they're at a point where we may have to put the dog down. We sent 2 free syringes, and the vet charged her only $250 to do the work. And the lady sent the video of her and her dog able to run and play. She wasn't able to run, but at least she could walk. And she goes, you really extended the life of my little dog. So it's feel-good stories like that, why we're also motivated to help. And then if you look at our latest board of directors, Spencer Breithaupt, he was in charge of sales at MWI Animal Health. They're our distributor. MWI Animal Health is the largest player in the United States in terms of veterinary sales. They do $5 billion a year. And they have 400 territorial managers, 350 salespeople. So when he retired from there, he joined my board of directors. Everybody says, how did you get him? And I said, Pete actually sees how this product works. And he wants to give back to the industry too, because he could have gone anywhere as a board member. He sits as chairman of the Animal Health Technology Corridor, which is the top 25 animal health companies and their technologies. And I'm sure companies had asked him to join, but when I asked, he says, yeah, I want to join because I know we're going to be doing good and helping people and animals.
Definitely an inspiring story. Thank you for sharing. Last but not least, John, do you have any advice for future entrepreneurs or people starting on this path?
I'm a unique case because I like focusing on niche markets where I think the future will be. That's not easy to find. There isn't too many companies that have that type of capability. I've been fortunate. I found a few in my career. But the key is if you got to do what you love, because it's not work, and really understand the market and where it's going. That's the biggest thing for entrepreneurs. Not just because you create a better product, you got to really understand how to get the product to the marketplace and sell it.
Thank you for sharing that passion, John, as well. And thank you so much for being here. Do you have any social media handles? Where can people find you or the company?
Sure. So it's www.petvivo.com. And then within there, we actually have springhealth.com, which is more geared towards veterinary doctors. It goes more into the science, but PetVivo will get you there. That's the key one.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And remember, guys, that you can also find more information, interesting articles, interesting interviews, just like this one with John, directly on our website, ControlHub.com/builder-nation. We would love to hear from you. And once again, John, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time and for joining the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to be on here.